welcome back, everybody, to the Blazer Victory Podcast. John Duncan here, and of course, I'm joined as always with my co-host Darion Smith.
Yo.
Guys, hey, it's official now. You know, the last episode we dropped was our emergency podcast, basically stating that Trent Dilfer was going to become UAB's next head football coach. And, of course, that did happen officially on Wednesday, November the 30th, where Trent Dilfer was announced as the 7th head coach for the UAB football program. In this episode, you know, Darion and I wanted to just kind of follow up and just kind of talk about, or really just kind of analyze Trent Dilfer's first moves that he's made in this past week, or really half week, since he's officially been on the job at UAB. And also kind of give our thoughts on the UAB football program as a whole, you know, talking about like where we are in relation to everybody else, especially in the New American, where UAB is at in the NIL world, what's going on there. But a lot to get into. Darion, let's just kind of first, before we get started, little podcast business. If you are not subscribed to the Blazer Victory Podcast, go ahead and hit that follow or subscribe button wherever you're listening to us, whether that's on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, wherever. Go ahead and subscribe to BVP to make sure that you do not miss any future episode. Darion, you know, the last episode we did was probably our most downloaded episode that we've ever had in the history of Blazer Victory Podcast. So congratulations to you, man, because I'm so glad we wanted to go ahead and do that episode late. Was that Tuesday evening? Emergency. Hey, it was emergency, man. And also, folks didn't know we were dealing with some severe weather in the area while we did that podcast. So, kind of had to have our phones monitoring the weather as well. But we hopped on because we were getting so many phone calls, DMs, saying, hey, this is legit. You know, Trent Dilfer is about to be the next UAB football head coach. And, of course, he was officially announced on Wednesday, November 30th. So, Darion, you know, congratulations, for you and to me, to Blazer Victory Podcast, kind of taking this thing to the next level. We appreciate all of our listeners for downloading that episode. If you have not, definitely go back in your feed and download that emergency podcast where we, kind of help break the news that UAB is going to officially hire Trent Dilfer as their next head football coach. And again, shout out to Steve Irvine for getting that tweet when he sent out that tweet that it kind of just spiraled things and moved things very, very quickly.
Steve set it all in motion. The wizard himself.
Definitely. Well, let's go ahead and talk about the press conference, Darion. So he had his press conference Wednesday. Overall, I try not to read too much into press conferences because, honestly, these coaches come in and they all kind of say the same thing, hip, hip, hooray, I'm going to change to take this program to the next level, yada, yada, yada. But I will say, I thought Trent Dilfer was really real. He was very real with, and just kind of, because I think he knew there are going to be people in that room at the press conference or watching that we're going to, kind of question marking him for hiring a, quote unquote high school coach. But I got to hand it to Trent Dilfer. I thought he commanded the room very well. I felt like he said what needed to be said. And what really got me pumped is that, he said that he thinks UAB can compete in the college football playoff. Now, some people might be rolling their eyes, but hey, when this thing is going to be officially expanded to 12 teams in 2024, that is definitely going to open up the floor to a an American League champion to get in that playoff as the top six, top six ranked conference champion. So UAB definitely does have a legit chance at making the college football playoff if they can win their conference in a couple years. So, that was a bold statement to make for Trent Dilfer, but hey, I'm all aboard.
Yeah, and I like that because it's going to take belief. It's going to take belief from the start. And what are we going through all of this for if we don't even believe that? Why should we be the program to put a cap on what we can do? I'm imagining that stadium full. Why will it be full? Because we're undefeated, right? Can you imagine an undefeated UAB team? We're in Birmingham. hotbed for football, college football. You know, NFL experience coached. We're the hottest thing. We're what UCF did a couple years ago. You know, we're what Cincinnati did. We can do the same thing here, but people have to believe that. And
exactly.
And the belief transfers into the off-season program, the workouts. Is the belief that's built. Then you start to recruit with that belief, and then you start to play with that belief. You have expectations. That's the idea. I like to hear that, and I do appreciate the realness, because one thing I don't like when some school administrators or officials, they want almost like propaganda for their school. Yeah. I wouldn't want that. I would want the truth. You want real coverage of your team. You want people to be engaged. You want real questions to be answered. Now, you don't want disrespect. You don't want just negativity. No, don't know. Who wants a cloud? Who wants a media outlet that's a cloud? We're not here to be a cloud. We're here to promote UAB athletics and talk about it in a real way. That is what we're here for, and we want to shine a light on these guys and promote the positive they do. With that being said, I do appreciate that connects back to the realness that he spoke with about his experience and how he plans to overcome. He didn't dodge it. That's something to be said. He went straight to it. He ran to it, didn't dodge it, and he spoke on how he planned to overcome it. And what he didn't know, he was going to hire people that were smarter than him, that knew the state, that knew recruiting, and what they didn't know, they were going to figure out. And I can respect that. That's not running from it. That's running to it, and that's putting. At least he has a plan for it, and he's not afraid to talk about it. I respect it 100%.
No doubt. And honestly, too, Darion, you mentioned like a UCF or Cincinnati. I think a rather real example that UAB fans can look towards is what Tulane did this year. I mean, exactly. You've got a program that, hasn't done anything, no offense to Tulane, in like 20 years or so. And here they are, coming off of a 4 or 5 win team, whatever they were last year. And they come in and go freaking 10-2, and like they've got Yeoman Stadium like packed for their conference championship. You cannot tell me that UAB can't do the same thing, if not more. Like exactly. You know what Tulane has, fought in New Orleans. I mean, of course, the majority of fans in New Orleans are LSU fans, or they're just Saints fans. They don't really have a team they pull for at the collegiate level. And you've got so many fans in the New Orleans area like hopping on board with Tulane. Like UAB can do the exact same thing. Of course, we know we have a lot of UAB diehard fans because you guys are listening to the podcast, Blazer Victory podcast right now. We know you guys. We talk to you guys at the games. But also, there are a lot of Alabama Auburn fans that are sort of checking in to see how UAB's doing. And, let's face it, Darren, they see UAB go up to LSU and get whooped. They see UAB go up to Georgia and get whooped. Like, I think Trent Dilfer is a coach. I don't know. I'll be honest. I don't know if he can do it year one. I hope he can. But I think this is a guy that has the confidence, has the swag. Yes, I said swag.
Yep.
To help take UAB to the next level and start to win some of these very important non-conference games. Of course, we still want to be conference champions. That's still going to be the goal. But he's going to want to try to get some of these, Alabama Auburn fans to start really keying in and paying attention to UAB. And he's going to bring an exciting brand of football to UAB, I think. We're kind of get away from that, run the ball, play action. No, you see what Tulane was a team that ran the triple option under Willie Fritz. And yes, they still run the ball a lot. But by God, they sure do love spreading it around and run some spread offense and throwing it out to those talented wide receivers. And you cannot tell me that UAB can't do the same thing that this Tulane program has done this year under Willie Fritz.
Right. Do the same thing and do it better.
And do it better, yes.
It's a blueprint out there. It's been set. It's been going back for a while. I remember Boise State, coming out of nowhere, beating Oklahoma. The guy Ian Connors, I believe that's his name, proposing to his girlfriend. I remember all of that. UAB, we have that potential. We have the facilities now. We have the stadium now. It's nice in there, man. Man, if we can pack that thing out because of what the team does, because of what the new identity, it's not just, I don't believe it's going to be defense, hopefully we just win conservatively anymore. And it won't be able to win big games. Like, I think there's going to be a real branding change, a real identity change. But the major thing is a belief change. That is what needs to happen at its core. This is going to be a hot take, but you mentioned those Alabama Auburn fans, but a lot of those people have never been to a game in Alabama Auburn because it's so elite, right? Like the tickets can be expensive.
Right.
It's traveling.
And the games they can afford to go into is it's against, no offense to these programs, but like an Austin P or, like
it's
an
a blowout
team.
Money game.
Right. Exactly.
So I would, now this is something to ponder on. I know UAB fans, I'm part of the fabric. I know we're so used to having to fight, right? It's the UAB BOT screwing us in this. I would challenge that we start kind of moving away from that, right? We're going into the American. We have different goals. We're not here to fight that anymore. We're here to get to the playoffs. We're here to win championships. I had a coworker that I used to work with. He listens to the pod all the time. Brian Meyer. What's up, Brian? Big time Alabama fan. I got to talking to him. He started dabbling in UAB football. But I didn't come at him like, you Alabama fan, blah, blah, blah. There's sometimes I feel like we tend to do that. We don't have to do that, guys. Like, let's just talk to him. Let's recruit fans. Trent Dilfer is out there recruiting. He's offering the whole Lipscomb High School.
Hey, we'll get into that in a minute.
Trent Dilfer he's out there, and he got his staff out there recruiting already. I'm seeing offers being thrown around. Maybe we can do the same, man. These people, like I said, they don't have a real connection. Come on to UAB. Come, let me show you. We're building something. We have built a lot, but we're still building. It's one thing to jump on a team that has something already built. You're just another person there. But come be a part of this fabric where you are appreciated because you're actually, every fan is actually a part of the building. Come on, be a part of something special. So when we reach that pinnacle, you have a brick in that road. You did something for the team. You helped build it. You can say, I remember when we used to just be this, but now we're that. Let's come on. I would say let's recruit that. Let's get away from that. From that fighting and all that. Kind of pushing people away. We're gonna recruit people here, just like Trent is recruiting everybody.
And kind of speaking on the same sense of you talking about bricks, I really loved during the press conference where he gave kudos to of course Bill Clark and also Bryant Vincent. He said in the presser that the foundation is set. He kind of described it as UAB football being a house. Like the foundation of the house is there. All he's going to try to do is to just kind of decorate it and just make improvements, remodel it, and make it something to be even more attractive. And I definitely look forward to seeing Trent Dilfer do that here on the South Side. But I definitely like that. And I also, Darren, I love the fact that he's really given respect to Bryant Vincent. Like he said in the presser, he said and Bryant Vincent is still the coach until through the bowl game, and he's going to go to Bryant and just say, hey, is there anything that I can help you with? You have a project going on, yada yada. I can help you with it. Like, but conversely, like, I just want to talk a little bit about how Bryant Vincent and the staff, I think they've handled this very well. Rumor has it that, but when Trent Dilfer first met with the team, Bryant Vincent, before handing it off to Trent Dilfer to speak, he, just reconfirmed the guys that, hey, I've got you for a couple more weeks, but after that, you're going to be in great hands, with Trent Dilfer. That's just, I respect that, Darion, because,
yes.
I mean, this was a man that was in a finalist for this job to take the interim tag off and become a permanent job. And he's just still sitting here I just respect that. And that just shows you how great of a person Bryant Vincent is. And I know he's going to land somewhere after that. If he's not retained on the UAB staff somewhere, I am very confident knowing that, hey, Bryant Vincent and these other guys, they're going to find somewhere real quick to land their feet.
Yeah. Big props to BV, man. Just how he had to take the job under the circumstances, how he received a lot of criticism from fans and us alike in the beginning, how he continued to fight through it and grow, even though losses, close losses, heartbreaking losses, he continued to grow as a coach. And we spoke on it on the pod a lot. That's the thing that I'm most proud of the man, that he was able to continue to grow his pedigree as a head coach. And by the end of the season, we were all like, we wouldn't mind if he removed the interim tag. Let's be clear about that. We were okay with that, and because right. That said growth, man, I saw timeout management. I saw adjustments. I saw willingness to trust the quarterback and get creative. I saw me personally, I just saw a lot of growth in what he did, and he deserves to be a head coach, man. I think that was his trial by fire. That was the experience he needed. I am confident that he can lead a program and lead them to winning seasons. He's young. The best quality he has is this ability to connect to players. He finds a way to motivate them, and they love him. You saw how the players pined for him. So big shouts out to BV and the staff, man. They made, even though through all this tumultuous, if you would have told us we would have had the record 6-6, well, I'd be like, oh, nothing would have been great about that in the beginning. But just looking back and seeing how everything went and seeing how he grew and how he fought through, he made us proud. Even when we gave him hell, he still continued to just work. So major props to BV and the staff.
Definitely. And also too, as of recording this podcast, UAB has only lost 2 recruits. Honestly, Darren, we were talking after all this happened that, hey, we were worried that we were about to lose a lot of, we were about to get a bunch of decommitments. We're about to see a bunch of, players say they're going to enter the transfer portal. And I know the transfer portal officially opens up Monday morning when you guys are probably listening to us. So we'll have to kind of monitor and see actually what happens. But so far, man, I think the guys are going to give Trent Dilfer a chance. And
yes,
again, that goes back to, them trusting BV and, him just saying, hey, I've got you for a couple weeks, but you are going to be in great hands to get, just give Trent Dilfer a chance. And also going back to the presser one more time, Trent Dilfer didn't say anything about he's going to be looking immediately into the transfer portal. No. What did he say, Darren? He said that he was going to re-recruit the current roster. And that is vital that he is doing. And he knows, he sees, he's in the presser. He said that he saw the hurt in the guy's eyes. I mean, this team rallied around Bryant Vincent. The players, wrote a letter to Ray Watts begging him and Mark Ingram to, please meet with them so they can, explain their case for Bryant Vincent. These kids love Bryant Vincent. And that says something about the integrity and the man that Bryant Vincent is. But for Dilfer recognizing this and saying, hey, forget the portal. I mean, I'm sure we'll get some players from the portal. But forget the portal right now. I'm just focusing on helping Bryant Vincent and staff get ready for this Bahamas Bowl game and getting to know these players one-on-one to basically re-recruit them.
Yeah, and it's so funny, right? Because it was expected of this mass exodus of players and everything. But I'm looking around and I'm looking at other programs. I'm looking at Clemson. You know, they're losing players right now. I'm looking at all of these Indiana, all of these other programs that they have been having the mass. That's where I've been seeing the mass exodus. Yep. Looking at UAB, I see Skull tweet. I'm ready to work. You know, ready to work. I'm seeing TJ Jones. I'm seeing all of these guys like excited. So it's one thing to recruit in the portal, but a lot of teams that's recruiting in the portal, they probably lost 7 of their guys. So all we seeing is, oh, they signed this guy from here, they signed this guy from here. Yeah, because they lost. But that's the thing. Trent decided I'm going to recruit this team. I didn't see Fish McWilliams, or I didn't see D-Mac, or Jackson Bradden, or I didn't see any of these guys hop in the portal. I didn't see almost anybody, you know. And I think the guys that did hop in the portal, they had already quit. So that it really didn't count. Like they weren't going to play anyway. So let's just being honest, you know, we already had talent at that position. So like that really didn't count. He didn't. So in my eyes, he hasn't. I know the portal and all that is tricky, but he hasn't even lost anybody yet. When I'm looking at the landscape, and I'm seeing guys enter the portal like crazy. That is impressive, and that shows you that he has been a man of his word. That shows you that he respects the players. Everybody look at it as coach and grown man, adult, and they look at players as kids or whatever, but respect is mutual.
Yes.
And you have to show respect, and you have to earn respect. The guy went and watched so much film on them before he even had the job. You know what I'm saying? He knew players and their names, their positions, and their skill set. And he got familiar with them as much as he could already before he had the job. Then you go in and you acknowledge their hurt, you know, and you put that at ease and you earn their respect. You don't come in with the tough guy attitude like, if you don't want to be here, don't. We finna do something. No. He's taking his time. He's respecting Bryant Vincent. He's acknowledging the players' hurt. He's asking how can he serve the players and how he plans to integrate them and use them. That is important. That's a man of his word, and that is very impressive to me because a lot of coaches come in with that tough guy act, and they're fired in 2 years.
And that's he came in and he said he just wanted to show the guys that, you know, just love. I think that was his statement. You know, he just wants to show that they, you know, that they are loved and they are you know, cared about. But real quick before we move on, I'm pretty sure we hit on most of the things that were important in regards to the press conference. But I know we've got a lot of players that listen to this podcast. I know you guys are listening right now. Please do not just jump into the transfer portal. The grass, what's the saying? The grass isn't always greener on the other side. Guys, there are so many players that enter the transfer portal. So many. Give the man a chance. Just give him, hey, you can enter the portal later. Give him a chance. Get to meet him. See what it's all about. If you still decide, hey, this just ain't going to work for me, then enter the portal. But don't just, right when that portal opens up Monday, throw your name in. Because, go ahead.
Don't do it without a plan.
Please.
At least talk to somebody to where you have some offers, man, because I saw the stats on how many guys I wish I had that tweet pulled up.
It ain't pretty. I think, is it like a fourth of them? Only a fourth of them actually end up somewhere.
Right. Like they actually
end up
getting scholarships. Do not throw away your future just thinking I'm him. I'm that guy. Guess what? That guy that ended up transfer portal, that high school player, that JUCO player, they all think they're him. They all think they're the guy. Everybody is that guy. You know what I'm saying? Listen, there's not 100 Bryce Youngs. You know, that's not it. There's not a whole bunch of Caleb Williams going around. Dog, just fertilize the grass where you at, and you make it greener if you're unhappy. But like you said, alluded to, if that is the decision that you really ponder on, you have a plan, you know that you'll have offers out there, by all means, do your thing. And we'll still support you.
Right.
100%. Yeah, if it's legit reason or if it's dissension going on and you just can't get chemistry, just make sure you have your plan. That's all. I want to see you guys win at the end of the day. So, yeah, do your thing. But it seems like Trent is making sure those guys are put at ease, and he is treating them with respect. And hopefully we don't even have to worry about that.
Definitely. Well, guys, Trent Dilfer it has been known that there are 3 coaches going to be on his coaching staff, and we'll go ahead and get into those and just talk about them a little bit, Darion. The first one is it's being reported that Trent Dilfer's offensive coordinator will be Alex Mortensen, and this is a guy that he's been at Alabama for a long time. He's been at the University of Alabama since 2014 as a grad assistant, and also 2019 to current, he's been an analyst there at Alabama as well. And I bring this up, hey, he has never been an offensive coordinator. I get it. But this is a guy that has seen so many, not only elite players, but elite offenses at the University of Alabama, and how he has kind of grown to be that, especially this year, kind of one-on-one guy with Bryce Young. I mean, that's got to excite UAB fans. If he could, imagine him getting his hands on Dylan Hopkins, or getting his hands on Jacob Zeno, or if Trent Dilfer brings in somebody else at quarterback, from his Elite 11 Academy. Can you imagine him being able to help develop more and just develop these quarterbacks more, and just imagine what the UAB offense could be? We've seen glimpses, but I'm excited, Darion. I get some UAB fans saying, hey, he's never been a coordinator, but so what? I mean, he has been around very elite offenses, very great offensive coordinators at Alabama. I'm excited about this, bringing Alex Mortensen to the South Side to be the offensive coordinator.
Yes, I am too, because he's young and he's hungry for his opportunity after being at Alabama for a total of 9 seasons, working hands-on with Tua, Bryce Young, Mac Jones, all of these guys. He's done it. He's familiar with the state. 9 years in the state. Mm-hmm. He's familiar with the state. He knows the high school stomping ground. He knows elite talent. He has good relationships with coaches. He has good relationship with players. He had to step in, like when Bill O'Brien had COVID. He was the one that's asked to step up. He's very highly regarded among and well liked among circles over there. That's important. I really want to emphasize that the state thing. This is why this is a great hire. Y'all got to see beyond, he wasn't an offensive coordinator. Hey man, at the end of the day, it's coaching and it's drawing up plays. Don't overrate all of that other stuff. It's drawing up plays. That's what he's gonna do. It's football, man. And I think sometimes we put too much into it, but coaching isn't that hard. I think the other business stuff that go along with it, all the administration stuff that goes along with it, that can be more difficult than actually coaching. The guy knows the stomping ground, and he is prepared for the job. You can't really ask for too much more. Those are the 2 major things that you want. So I'm happy. I'm excited about the hire, just like you are.
And also, hey, a couple quick more things I wanted to note that, hey, he played quarterback at Samford, so he's familiar with Birmingham. He also played quarterback at Arkansas. But not only other than that, like he's the son of Chris Mortensen, who was a long time NFL analyst too. So you throw in the NFL in the mix.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it's a home run hire as offensive coordinator.
Yeah, and then Dilfer himself, he's gonna have his hand on the offense as well.
Yep.
So I mean, guys, we have a lot of NFL experience, connections, elite quarterback play, elite offensive minds. Like this is a lot different than what we're used to. And maybe you're just out of your comfort zone a little bit, but open that mind up and see how that this is a good thing. And it could potentially be a great thing. Let's just have that open mind. And I'm really, really excited to see what they do.
Definitely. Another guy that is going to be on Trent Dilfer's coaching staff is Riley Jeffers. He's going to be the tight ends coach for UAB. I mean, this is a guy that Dilfer's pulling from Ohio State. He was an offensive analyst for the Ohio State Buckeyes. He was also the tight ends coach under Dilfer at Lipscomb Academy. But I mean, he was also, I mean, this is a guy who was also on the FAU staff. I mean, so this is a guy that has a lot of experience as well. But I mean, I'm excited. I mean, anytime you can pull somebody from Alabama and Ohio State and bring them into your coaching staff at UAB, like, you've got to be excited that, hey, this is going to work out.
Yeah, because you're pulling from great programs. I don't care. Throw away whatever biases or whatever. Hey, we're talking real here.
Mm-hmm.
University of Alabama is a great program, probably the best marquee program right now. Ohio State is right up there with them.
Mm-hmm.
As far as programs, and so they've been around it, they've touched it, they know it. And it's it's a tight ends coach, so it ain't like it's just like one of the big, but it's just cool to have pedigree.
Yes.
Within your program, because that's the destination. That's where you want to be. So it's cool to be able to have experience and draw from those areas, and they can bring their pedigree down with them and hopefully instill it at UAB.
Right. And the third coach that I really don't see any articles. I know Steve or Evan haven't written anything up, but it was reported from 247 Sports, Brandon Marcello, that Grant Williams will be the offensive line coach for Trent Dilfer. This is a guy, I mean, he's a former NFL offensive tackle, played in the NFL for some years. He was also an assistant in the XFL. And also, but more importantly, I mean, he's already worked for Dilfer. He was the offensive line coach for Lipscomb Academy for a few years under Trent Dilfer. So, hey, experience working under Dilfer, check. NFL experience, check. And I mean, if this is 100% going to be added to the coaching staff, hey, Darion, I'm excited about Grant Williams too, because I mean, that's just, hey, another guy that has NFL experience, and that's got to help recruiting.
Yeah, that all of that NFL experience, that's attractive. Those connections, that's attractive to learn from people that's been there and done that. I love Coach Cam Blankenship, the offensive line coach that was on the BV. So I know that he'll be able to land somewhere good, because he's a great young up and coming coach. I know Coach Matt McCants, he was the assistant. Hopefully, Matt is like my brother. Hopefully Matt is able to stay with the staff. Matt himself is an ex-NFL offensive tackle too. Played for a couple of years. I think it's a match made in heaven. He knows the terrain. Matt connects with the players really, really well. I think he can help bridge that gap. So hopefully, Coach Dilfer is listening to the pod and be like, hey, I need Coach Matt McCants. He is great with the players, and he has a lot of experience. He checks all of those boxes that Trent is looking for. So If Coach can stay with Grant Williams, I'll be ecstatic.
Hey, this is real time, but North Texas just fired Seth Luttrell.
Oh, snap.
I mean, didn't he just take them to the conference championship?
Nah, but they was just stuck in that. That's a good move.
I think so too. Yeah, I mean, I hate it for them, but it does kind of seem that that program was kind of stagnant. I know this wasn't on the agenda, Darion, but I just had to mention I had an alert from Brett McMurphy that North Texas has moved on from Seth Luttrell. Wow.
Maybe I don't understand why they kind of did it so late.
So late, yeah. Like, I don't know. All right, moving back to UAB. Golly, that is weird.
Yes.
So let's just kind of talk about Trent Dilfer and recruiting for a minute, Darion. What can Trent Dilfer bring to UAB recruiting wise? And we're talking high school recruiting, portal recruiting. What in your opinion can he bring to UAB?
Man, I think this is part of that identity change that I can see, because Trent Dilfer is a respected. Anybody you talk to, if they know him personally, they vouch for his character. They vouch for what he does, like the stuff that he said at the press conference about serving and getting down and dirty and working hard and grinding hard, and then anybody and all of that. They said that's really him. And I've heard that from multiple people. Check that. The NFL mind. He's been to the pinnacle as the lead guy. He wasn't the flashiest of quarterback. And he'll tell you, like, he didn't have the per se. He wasn't Mahomes or any of those guys. He was more of a game manager, because you have to play within your skill set. But to me, when I used to play basketball, I played basketball in high school. I knew my role. I knew I wasn't a scholarship player. I knew that. Like, my future was in football. But I was very smart at what I did. They loved having me play basketball. I set solid screens. I was athletic. I knew I could play solid defense. I knew my handles was limited. I knew my shot wasn't that good. I knew where you have to play within yourself. That shows IQ. One thing that Trent Dilfer has is extreme IQ. They said he breaks down film like he's a junkie. He's a work hard guy. He's gonna put his guys in the best position. That's why I'm so excited to see what offense him and Chris Mortensen put together. Alex Mortensen. I'm sorry.
It's fine. That's his dad. Yes.
Yeah. I'm so excited to see what they put together, because I know how tirelessly, and even when he was on TV, he broke down film so much, and then he transferred that to Lipscomb, to a national powerhouse. And I want to say, during the emergency pod, it was academy school, so I thought Lipscomb was just like some small. No, he had those guys nationally ranked. He had those guys beating up on Thompson High School.
Yep.
Let's be clear about that. Like, Thompson had been running stuff, here in Alabama, and he had them beating up on. So he had an elite program, elite offensive in the state title game. They whooped those boys. I can't even remember the score. It's a lot to a little. So, and then I think he's gonna be able to just bring that Super Bowl ring with him. Bring that.
Show it off. Show that bling off, man.
Yes, bring that knowledge with him. He has the respect of guys on TV now, like Matt Hasselbeck. He's behind him so much. All of these, I saw a whole bunch of those NFL guys and analysts. All of those was tweeting their support of Trent Dilfer. I forgot. Almost more importantly, Elite 11 camp. He was the head guy. He touched all of those guys. He worked hands-on with those guys a lot. He was the head coach there. The opening, he mentioned that the opening is a big camp, a big thing. He was right there with those guys. So he has the experience. He knows what it looked like. He knows what it takes. So if I'm a parent, I'm trusting that man because on every level he succeeded in his life. and he's bringing his knowledge and everything here. I'm going to say, well, he knows what he's talking about. He has a plan for him. I trust what he's saying because he has always followed through on it. That's his background. If I'm a parent, I'm saying, hey, son, I think this is the guy you need to go with, So I think that's what he brings to recruiting. I think it's so much of an identity change from what we had in the previous regime.
Yeah, I mean, that's very well said. One thing that I was going to bring up that we've had some concerns about lately, just the last couple of days, but it seems that Trent Dilfer is offering a lot of people from his Lipscomb Academy team. I mean, it feels like the last 4 that I've seen on Twitter have all been from Lipscomb. I mean, Darion, do you see that as a concern? I mean,
let me tell you.
Yeah, go ahead, Tate.
Let me tell you why I don't see that as a concern. Let's go to Thompson. So everybody, we don't know Lipscomb here, right? We're here in Birmingham. We don't know. Mm-hmm. We know Thompson. We know Hoover. Mm-hmm. We know those guys have multiple D1 recruits, right? So we go to Thompson. They may have a quarterback, 2 receivers, a linebacker, 2 corners, and a defensive end. And they may all be D1 guys on one team, right? One to go to Kentucky, one to go to Alabama, one to go to Auburn. Somebody go to Vanderbilt, somebody will go to Samford. But they're all D1 guys. My question is, so this is the team that beat Thompson, right? So they're a national powerhouse. Of course, they're going to have multiple guys that can play D1 ball. They're a national powerhouse. Offer them dudes. Offer those guys, like, don't be, oh man, so many guys from Lipscomb. Yes, because they're a powerhouse. Offer, if you have the opportunity to get them and then create a pipeline now, please offer all of those guys, because if you go to their page, all of them have D1 offers from P5 schools and stuff like that. Go look at the page. Go look at them. Go check out their film. I think you'll shut up real quick once you realize, like, oh, never mind, So I don't look at how many guys. If you have like IMG Academy, probably the most elite known football school, they always have, like, it seems like they have like 25 guys, D1 guys, If a coach can offer the whole IMG Academy team and they all come, they did a good job. So just chill out and just look at the individuals versus, they're all from one team. Look at the individuals and then see what's up.
See, and I agree, and I just wanted to bring that up too. Just like, hey, if you're looking at from the outside and you're like, oh my gosh, like all these, they're all from Lipscomb. Why is he offering all his former players? But when you actually do like a deep dive and you realize, oh, this guy has an offer for Vanderbilt. Oh, this was a Liberty commit. Oh, okay. I mean, these are some serious, FBS schools. And a lot of P5. And then I agree 100%. I just felt that it needed to be brought up just to kind of chill everybody down, and let's be real, he's not offering the whole team. He might have offered like 8 or 9. So it's not the whole team. But yeah, definitely great words there, Darion. I guess that's it for Dilfer. Did you have anything else to add before we get into kind of talking about UAB as the UAB program as a whole?
I do wonder. I'm not really expecting a whole lot portal wise. I did see that Malachi Hope Bennett, a receiver from Indiana, he was coming out of high school. He was originally committed to UAB. Hopefully that he entered the transfer portal, so hopefully we're able to snag him back. He's a big, tall, long, rangy receiver. Very, he'll be a great asset if we could bring him back home. But I don't think we'll be very active in the portal. I did see some local guys, some guys from some of the schools around UAB. I was wondering that maybe they'll reach out and touch some of these local guys. and see and tap in with them and see if they want to come. But hey, I'd be glad if we just get 2 or 3 guys from the portal. To be honest, we don't have to get many because we're not. I don't believe we're gonna lose too many. I'm very excited about that.
Yeah, I was gonna say the only reason I see him really deep diving into the portal is if, worst case scenario, we do start to see a bunch of guys hit the portal. Then it's like, okay, well, you have to, because you have to hurry up, and get some bodies in. But that's just me thinking worst case scenario. Like we just alluded to earlier, Darion, I don't see many. We might get a couple more that might be expected to hit the portal on Monday, but I don't think we'll get that, kind of mass exodus, which we were fearing or being alluded to on Twitter or whatever. So I think we'll be fine. So I agree 100%. I think Dilfer will do great recruiting at the high school level, which he was very familiar with, not only being a head coach at the high school level, but again running that Elite 11 Academy where he is seeing the top of the top, the best of the best talent at that program.
Right.
All right, so moving forward from Trent Dilfer, Darion and I just wanted to talk to you guys about kind of just overall looking at the UAB football program right now. And I guess the first thing I want to get into is just the NIL at UAB. I guess how do we improve NIL at UAB? Because, let's face it, eventually UAB is going to have to get on board. I know we've got some programs that are in the works to try to get, NIL support for UAB. And I think UAB as a university is doing a good job. They've, got one person on staff that is fully dedicated to just serving NIL. But let's face it. We're going to have to improve NIL at UAB, especially moving into the AAC. And my question to you, Darion, is how can UAB improve NIL? And I guess, can it improve?
Yes, I believe it. I believe it can. I do know. I was trying to think about it. I do know a lot of guys and gals around Birmingham, especially older. They probably were graduates of Auburn or Alabama, so it may be tough to navigate in that sense. But if we want to band together, I think this is on the fans and the community as a whole. We have to have. I'm glad to hear that you said we have somebody on the UAB staff that's committed to just for NIL purposes, and it was it's very encouraging to see the NIL collective.
Mm-hmm.
We have a group of guys that's working on it, but it's going to be very hard. This is not my area of expertise, but I know it's important, right? And if we want to keep guys like Debo, or if we want to be able to bring in a couple of, we don't have to have a lot, but if we have a shot at a 5-star, 4-star guys, I think it's important that, hey, we have a precedent of NIL deals. I see Jelly getting a couple, stuff like that. I think Debo maybe. I think it's important that we engage with businesses around. I'm not sure who's the rich guys around here. If somebody know, they can let me know. I can see if we can get those connected up.
Right.
But yeah, we have a lot of opportunity. We have a lot of businessmen here. We have a lot of fans that or a lot of alumni that's graduated that's going on to be very successful in their careers, millionaires and whatever they can put back into the program. That's going to be important going forward. And it'll be good to have multi-million-dollar stash yearly, that we can use. How does that actually form? I don't know. I just know what'll be good. And it'll be cool to learn how to do that. But I think it's important for the growth of this program, and if we want to get to that destination.
Yep, I agree, Darian. And obviously, I'm no expert on NIL either. You want to talk about, scheme. You want to talk about other stuff. I know both of us are a lot better when it comes to stuff like that. But I do want to say, in regards to NIL, I do think it will be improved. However, I think it's just going to take time. I think you talk to a lot of fans, you talk to a lot of people in the Birmingham community, and I mean, this is all so new because for the longest time, we were told paying a student athlete for for anything was wrong. Like,
Mm-hmm.
for the longest, hey, you're getting a scholarship, you're getting a full ride, that should be enough. No, like nowadays, it is not only acceptable to pay somebody for the name, image, likeness, it is encouraged. So I think it's just going to take time. I know time is of the essence, but the longer it goes, the more people are going to become more. What am I trying to say? Just familiar, or know that it is acceptable to do this. Know that it's no
Right.
longer a bad thing. Like, it is encouraged, and this is going to be needed to help elevate UAB as a program to that next level in the AAC. So I do think it'll happen. I think it's just going to take time because you talk to a lot of people in the community and they're just like still kind of hesitant about it. Even though it's 100% legal, they're still like, well, I just don't want to get the school in trouble, or I don't want to get that player in trouble. I'm just still, concerned about it. So I think it's just going to take time. But in regards to how can it be improved, I think it's just going to be more education. Have more
Yeah, good answer.
just have more, talks with the donor base, more talks with the Birmingham community, and just say, hey, this is acceptable, this is okay. Hey, we've got a compliance team that works full time on this. We've got a staffer that works full time on NIL. It is okay. So I just think it's just going to take some time, and honestly too, like a lot of people are kind of stretched thin right now, in regards to uh, season tickets, donating to the school. I mean, a lot of people are just stretched pretty thin right now. But I do think as UAB gets more graduates, as UAB gets more casual fans interested in the program to see what's happening at Protective Stadium, I think more people are going to want to get engaged, and they're going to want to, help contribute, to say that they were, a donor for this for to help NIL at UAB moving forward.
Right. That's why I think it's so important that we kind of switch from the fighting,
Mm-hmm.
we the diehards, we fought, we fought so hard. We get it. We don't have to fight anymore. Let's start recruiting these. These are people, man. This is sports. At the end of the day, it's just sports, y'all. It's just sports. Football, basketball. We can recruit like, okay, they're an Alabama fan. That's okay. Let's bring them over to the light side. Let's show
Mm-hmm.
them. Let's show them how we get down. Let's convert them into being the diehard, and because I think the people that are stretching thin are the diehards. It's like funny, like seeing that Joseph Goodman article like a week or two ago when he was calling out basketball, and it was like, hey, you fussing at if you talking about the UAB fans, the UAB fans are there. Like, it's like the diehards, we're there. It's like we have to just engage more with the community. Don't put so much on the fans, because I see these people. I see them at the games. I see them at football, basketball. I see them buying season tickets and donor and everything. Like, come on, man. Like, at some point, it's the community.
Right.
We have to find ways to engage, like you said, like the casual fans. Like, we have to do a better job of, and I wish it was more marketing there. Maybe the marketing budget grows, and but I think we can do better grassroots, as a grassroots, and just getting people to come over and just not being so hostile as a fan base. So I get why we are hostile, because we are targeted with articles like that sometimes, and we are targeted, and we are the little brother, that's but that's not us. They want that image. We ain't nobody little brother.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? We have our own identity, and but we have to believe that that's who we are, and we don't have to fight that anymore. Let's not fight for that image. We are who we are. We know that. We don't have to fight for that image no more. Let's bring people over to that, and then maybe our casual fans can, the casual football fans can grow into UAB fans, and they buy season tickets, and we start building this thing up, and Trent Dilfer gets some 5-star Lipscomb quarterback to come. But before he does that, he shows that what he does with Dylan. Like, I'm really excited for Dylan to have. I think he's gonna have a big year. When Trent gets his hands on him, and then we're gonna see Fred Ferrier unleashed. We're gonna see all these guys unleashed. So I'm just happy, and I know I went off into another little topic there, but it just kind of hit me. It was something I wanted to just say because I'm excited. I'm just really excited for this new identity, this new regime, and I think the fans were going to take on a new identity as well. So I'm excited.
Yeah, me as well. And that kind of brings us to the last topic that, we won't spend too long on this topic since we're closing in on an hour. But just, Darion, what are our thoughts overall on UAB football program moving forward? And the reason we wanted to, talk about this, seeing FAU officially hiring Tom Herman, you see Liberty University hiring Jamie Chadwell. I mean, these were some guys that were supposedly and reportedly, in the mix for the UAB job, and just seeing these peer schools, are them going elsewhere. I mean, do you think this is like a black eye on the UAB football program, or with the coaching search, or what? Just give me some of your thoughts on this.
It's definitely an eyebrow raiser.
Yeah.
But only time will really tell because from the outside looking in, you got these coaches that were sought after, right? Like they were hot names and they won at their programs and respected, but then we hire, in quotations, the high school guy, what's going on at UAB, right? That's I get the skepticism. You know who else gets the skepticism? Trent Dilfer himself. He know how it looks.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? So, but only time will tell, because now that I'm starting to come around to it, I'm like, this could have been the best hire out of all of them because of the football mind, because of the connections. He's been at the top of the pinnacle. We talked about that. So, is this a genius? It's either going to be a genius move or it's going to be a horrible move. We've talked about that already. But I'm encouraged. I'm very encouraged by what I've seen lately in the direction we seem to be heading. And people initially probably say, ha, like look at the coaches that we got and look what y'all did. Man, that's disappointing. But the game is played on the field.
Yep.
And then recruiting, we'll see what happened. Like, let's see what happened. Let's see how much of an advantage the coaches that y'all got. Let's just see how much that brings you over us, because I'm starting to look at it different. It's always this little, it's like a meme, or it's like a little gif. I don't know if you've seen the video when the guy's like, help, get an ambulance. Then he get, oh God, then it's like, but not for me. And he pointed the gun at. That's kind of, I feel like, how we can be. It's like, oh no, we're hiding the gun. We not call an ambulance, but not for me, but for you. So only time will tell, but I'm starting to get a good feeling about it.
Yeah, me too. I thought that answer was good. Now, I will say, Darion, I was just scrolling through Twitter real quick, and we do have a couple more decommits. So hopefully that'll be it. But hey, I mean, worst comes to worst, hey, like if we get a few more decommits, I mean, Trent Dilfer, he's going to have some guys that he can offer. So, it'll be okay. So worst comes to worst, if we see, I don't anticipate seeing a lot more, but if we see a bunch more, hey, we still got time. The portal is officially open Monday, December the 5th. So we will find out.
Yep, we definitely shall find out what we lost the JUCO offensive lineman. Was it anybody else?
It was him and hold on.
Probably those two junior offensive linemen.
Yeah, right? It was both of those. Yeah, Wallace Unamba. I'm sorry. Yeah, him and yeah. Alrighty, well that's okay. Well, hey guys, so we will be back probably Wednesday or Thursday, one of those days for a basketball episode of the Blazer Victory Podcast.
Yeah, AK.
Hey, he's got it going 7-1 on the South Side, looking good. Darion and I were able to go to the South Alabama game Sunday. Looked good. Got a little nervous a couple of times, but hey, pulled out. So 7-1.
Ready to talk about it. So stay tuned. We ready. Saw a couple things that excited us, and a couple things we can talk about, man. And I'm excited for this basketball team, man. It's something special. We got to get that thing. If we get that place packed out, man.
Yeah, it'd be something special. Yeah,
because it was electric with the crowd we had. It was about 3,800 in there, and it was times where we were standing up and we were making noise. I'm like, oh snap! Like I'm getting this little tingly feeling. Like it was like you know that feeling like it's something going on here. Like the environment, man. It's so if we get that thing packed, oh my god.
100% agree. And hey, huge game coming up this Saturday in Morgantown with UAB and West Virginia. And this game is going to be huge for UAB to possibly have a shot at a at-large bid into March Madness in March in the NCAA tournament. So definitely need this one Saturday. So we will have you guys an episode to kind of preview the WVU game and get you up to speed on men's basketball. And again, that'll probably be at Wednesday or Thursday. So make sure you are subscribed to the podcast to where you don't even have to go find it. It'll just come straight to your device. But Darion, you want to go ahead and close this out, buddy?
Yeah, real time. I think we just offered a transfer portal guy, receiver.
Hold on. Let me look.
Catamounts. Is that Western Carolina?
Yeah, the Western Carolina Catamounts. Yeah.
Yeah, this receiver looked pretty good. Raphael Williams. Okay, we getting active in the portal. I see. All right. Yeah, I just wanted to point that out.
But that's how it is. Like, hey, you lose a guy or you get a decommitment. All right, well, Trent's gonna go in the portal. Like, it'll be okay. Settle down, guys. It'll be okay.
Yeah, and I'm gonna be real. So the decommitments we lost, the two that I was like bummed about was the defensive end, Michael. I believe was it Michael Turner? Is that his name?
I think so. Sounds right.
That went and Chris Pearson, the DB athlete guy. Now those two were ballers. Hopefully we can get them back in. And they probably had a lot more offers coming in. And they probably was like, hey man, why even try? I can just roll because they were good players, but like I felt like those two offensive linemen, they were more like depth. Like guys for depth. They, I looked at their film. They were decent, but I don't think they were going to start over some of the guys that we had, to be honest. So honestly, I feel like we just lost two ballers right now, and hopefully I'm ready to see more commitment statuses to UAB coming soon.
Yes, coming soon to you, hopefully.
But all right, yeah, I know we got off track, but yeah. Where we was at, we was getting ready to ride, wasn't
we? Blazer Nation.
Blazer Nation. Let's ride.
Let's ride.